Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Trey and Duke here, back with another video, and today we're going to be discussing a topic that may be deemed controversial, but I believe it is essential to discuss, and that is why everyone shouldn't own a Cane Corso, right? This dog breed may not be the dog breed for you, and in this video we're going to break down, reasons why that may be. Before we get into it, guys, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button. That helps us out a lot, and turn on that notification bell so you can get notifications when we go live and post new videos. So without further ado, guys, let's get into it. All right, guys, first thing I'm going to discuss here is the sheer size and strength of a Cane Corso, right? A lot of people may not understand what it's truly like to have a dog this big, this powerful. We're talking, 100+ pounds of just dog and, muscle. They're really strong, they're really powerful, and that can be a lot at times, especially if you're not equipped to, deal with that on it, or not used to dealing with that. And something you also have to account for is transportation, right? Do you have a vehicle that's equipped, that's big enough to haul them off, right? Because you get them, they're so small when they're a puppy, right? Maybe big for if you're accustomed to smaller puppies or whatever, but that's beside the point. But you get this puppy and you're able to haul him around. He can fit all nice and comfortable in your front seat of your sedan, and then 2 months go by and then that's just not working anymore. You may not have anticipated that, and now you may be looking for other options to get a new vehicle. Not everybody's able to do that, and that can cause some strain and some frustration there. So it's something you got to take account for. Also, I mentioned the size and strength. I try to work out and stay in shape or whatever the case may be, but there's times when Duke, he gets big and he wants to lean on me, jump. He doesn't necessarily pull on walks or whatever, but I get a lot of messages from people that saying they're having issues with their dog pulling. And if you're only 130, 150 pounds yourself, trying to hold this dog who's about the same size as you, trying to get at something that they really want, that may cause some conflict there. And whether you believe it or not, one of the biggest injuries caused by Cane Corsos aren't always related to bites, right? Have those big dog injuries, somebody getting pulled down, them jumping on top of you or something like that, and that can hurt somebody. Jump on top of a kid or somebody, an elder person or something like that, or when you're not paying attention, they pull on the leash, they pull your arm out, fall down, face plant, you name it, right? That stuff can happen, right? So I really want you guys to understand, right? You're getting a dog, they're cute, they're beautiful puppies or whatever. These dogs are going to get big, they're going to get strong, and you got to be, have a good understanding of that. And I just want to give you guys as much information as possible to let you know, like, hey, this is the big dog, very strong dog, very powerful dog, and they can be stubborn at times too. So that may clash with you. It may not fit everybody's lifestyle or capabilities or circumstances, and that's fine. Cane Corso, for that reason, may not be the breed you want to look at, right? But just keep that in mind, guys. These dogs get humongous, and they're extremely strong. So with that, let's go ahead and move on to the next point. All right, guys, the next point we're going to discuss here is exercise. All right, Cane Corsos require a lot of exercise, and if you are someone who doesn't have a lifestyle that supports getting out, being active, allowing them to get mental and stimulation and physical exertion, you may run into issues with your Cane Corso, and you don't want to deal with that. You don't want them around the house tearing stuff up, not listening or whatever the case may be. And a lot of that can be solved by just having a steady routine, following that routine, getting them out, being active. And if you're somebody who prefers to stay in the house, doesn't like to go out, that may be an issue, right? And it can make things a lot more difficult for you, to where you get frustrated, to where you say, you know what, I wanted this dog, I got the dog, and it's just not working out. I want to rehome my pup. And that happens a lot, and it's unfortunate, but I'd rather give you guys the information here up front so you have a good realistic expectation, right? they're going to get big. They're going to want to go out and explore. They're going to want to be active, and a good routine will help them out with that. So if you don't have an active lifestyle, if you know you're not going to be, one to get out there and allow them to get that exercise, or, you have a space where they can go and, free roam safely and, get it out, a Cane Corso may not be the dog breed for you. So just keep that in mind, guys. If you have an active lifestyle, that's great. You may want to look into getting a Cane Corso. If not, there's other dog breeds out there, right, that deserve love and good, loving homes. So you may be looking to those. All right, guys, let's go on to the next point. All right, guys, for the next point, if you're not willing to invest time into training and socializing your Cane Corso, this dog is definitely not for you. You have to socialize your Cane Corso. And I'm not just talking in the beginning when they're a pup, right? Yes, it is, vital that you get that time in, especially during that, 7 to 12 week mark, to try to establish a good baseline of what normal is, sight, sounds, so you're not, reacting to everything in a negative way. But I'm talking about through the entirety of their lives. It is important that you just continue to build on that foundation that you have, right? And that's going to take time, right? That's going to take willingness and effort to get out there and, expose your dog to the environment, to new things. Another thing is training, right? You have to be willing to train your dog. And I'm not talking about, I'll just send him off and, he'll get trained at a, board and stay and all this other stuff. I highly recommend, right, even if you want to bring in professional services, have someone come educate you, and then in turn you take what you get from the trainer and you train your dog, right? You can conduct a session with somebody, let's say once a week, right? And they highlight, hey, we're going to work on, place and a stay, right, this week, right? They teach you how it goes. They maybe give you a demonstration, right? But you go home and you make the magic work when you do your homework, right? And that's going to take effort on you. But if you're someone who you can't stick to a routine or a schedule, you struggle, with discipline, then, the Cane Corso is not going to be for you, right? You got to put the work in. You're going to get out what you put in. If you want your dog to be well behaved, follow your commands. When they're 100+ pounds, that is vital, right? You have to put that work in. If you're not willing to invest that time into training and socializing your dog, then the Cane Corso is just not for you. All right, guys. With that, let's move into the next point. All right, guys. The next point I'm going to discuss here is the Cane Corso's natural guardian instinct. It is vital that you guys understand that, right? I know a lot of you might have seen this dog in, your favorite TV shows or movies, and you're like, wow, that's a cool looking dog, or a big dog, I want one, or you've seen them on YouTube, Instagram, whatever the case may be, and you may not understand the breed, right? So if you don't understand the Cane Corso breed, I will tell you to do some research prior to getting a pup. If you're not willing to do research, then I would not recommend you get a Cane Corso, especially if you've never owned one before, right? Tap into YouTube, reach out to, people who have Cane Corsos, who've raised them, maybe, reputable breeders, and get as much information about them as possible, right? I highlight the guardian instinct because, it's something that's going to come natural for them, right? And it's a double-edged sword. It's great because, they're going to love and protect, their loved ones, everyone that's in the house, and that's a beautiful thing. But if you're not cognizant of that fact about them, and you're not, training and establishing boundaries properly and leading your pup, you can run into some issues, right? They can become territorial, resource guarding, things like that can lead to, problems in the house, potential injuries and things like that. And that's something you don't want to be dealing with, okay? So just understand that, they have a natural guardian instinct, and it will develop over time. And, once they get a little older, I would say, especially around like the 2-year mark is when I noticed it with Duke, he started to take his job a lot more serious, right? So he's on the job, he's more protective of the environment, our environment, the house, and it just became natural. No protection training or anything like that. So just keep that in mind. And like I said, if you're not willing to do the research or look to understand the breed, guess what? You know, this dog's probably not for you. All right, let's get into the next point. All right, guys, next point I'm going to discuss here is cost, okay? I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It does cost a lot to own and maintain a Cane Corso. When you break it down from your initial investment into getting your pup to, you know, what you pay to maintain their diet, whether they're on a high quality kibble diet or, you know, raw feeding diet, you know, that takes a lot of time and money to maintain that, right? Things in terms of vet bills, right? If they have an issue, right? Usually you take them into a vet for an issue, you know, bigger dog, bigger problem, bigger bill, okay? Expect that. Insurance premiums, it's going to take a lot to monthly costs to, you know, keep, you know, pet insurance on your Cane Corso, right? And some of these things you may not be thinking about going into getting a pup until you're faced with an issue or a problem. Okay, and I want you guys to be made aware of that prior to getting your dog or making the decision that you're going to get a Cane Corso, right? Understand that, you know, they have a life expectancy of, let's say, between 10 to 12 years. Some live longer, you know, and I hope for your pup, your dog, to live as long as possible, right? But you have to understand you need to be able to provide quality care and maintenance for your Cane Corso over that time. And if you aren't fortunate enough to have the funds for that, that can, you know, present problems, right? I always say, hey man, do the best that you can for your pup. You know, give them the best life that you can afford, right? And you know, that may not be to the highest level that some folks out there are doing it, but you know, you don't want to underdo it, okay? So if you get them and you can't, you know, get the best things or whatever the case may be, you do the best you can. But if you don't want to be in a situation where, you know, your pup is malnourished or things like that, or they have an issue that, you know, you could fix through surgery or something like that and you can't afford it or something like that, you don't want to have that issue. So just be mindful of that. Just, you know, if you get your pup, you know, have a rainy day fund set aside for them in the event that something happens, all right? Because you will have a lot of high costs, you know, with owning a Cane Corso. But like I said, if you aren't okay with that, or you know, your situation or circumstances can't support that, I don't recommend you get a Cane Corso. All right, with that being said, let's move on. All right, guys, those were some of the points that I thought were important that you guys understand prior to, you know, getting a Cane Corso, or if you're trying to make that decision and say, hey, you know, I saw this dog and I really want one, but you may not know much about it, right? So you can watch this video, you know, go back and check out the points and understand, like, hey, you need to be heavy in these areas and be willing to, you know, invest time, effort, energy into raising a Cane Corso pup into a quality dog, okay? All right, if you don't and you get the dog, you're gonna have some issues on your hand, and you know, I hate to see them end up getting euthanized or you know, having to get rehomed or whatever the case may be. I don't want that for them. I don't want you guys to have any issues in your household, so I make videos like this to help you guys out, to give you some insight, you know. But on the flip side of that, if you are somebody who, you know, runs it hard in those categories, or you're up to the task, or, you know, you're looking for a loyal, you know, companion that's going to stick beside you through thick and thin, no matter what, and you're willing to invest that time and, you know, put that work in, you know, Cane Corso may be for you. But if not, you know, look into other dog breeds that can, you know, bring you, you know, those same levels of companionship and loyalty as well. With that being said, guys, if this was insightful for you guys or helpful, please hit the like button, share it with a friend, a family member, welcome them to the Drool team, hit the subscribe button as well, guys, and also turn on that notification bell so you don't miss when we drop new videos. I appreciate you guys watching the video. Check out the one that I got popping up on the screen right now, and see you in the next one. Peace.